Welcome back to the channel. My name is Owen. Today we're talking about blockchains and how they work. Blockchains can be used for keeping data secure, they're more transparent, they have easy traceability and increased efficiency. I won't go into these too detailed in this video, but you'll get the general idea. So before we get into it, there's two types of blockchains. There's decentralized and the centralized. Centralized means there is a company or organization controlling the blockchain. For example, say a bank wanted to use a blockchain to track customers, keep a track of customers' transactions and who has how much money. This would be centralized, as the bank has all the control. I much prefer decentralized blockchains, like the ones using cryptocurrencies, for example in Bitcoin, because there is no one person who controls the entire network. Decentralized blockchains are different to centralized blockchains because they use a distributed ledger, which is essentially a large list of data which everyone can see on chain. For example, with Bitcoin, you can go on and see the Bitcoin transactions from where to who and how much Bitcoin is being sent. This is open to everyone in the public. Whereas with centralized blockchains, they still have a ledger, a list of all the transactions or data being spread across the chain. However, this is not usually open to the public and is just kept for the centralized entity's purposes. They both have a lot of uses. I think decentralized blockchains are better, and currently decentralized blockchains are mostly used for tracking transactions. So how does a blockchain actually work? So here we have a diagram. So these, as you can see, are blocks. The first block here, block 1, is called the Genesis block. This is a bit special compared to the other blocks because each block usually looks to the previous block, but this is not the case with the first one. This just has to be coded in a different way. So as you can see here, each block has a hash. A hash is basically a digital fingerprint, which is unique to that block. The digital fingerprint or hash is generated from the information inside of the block. As you can see there, each block generates its hash based off of the previous hash. So let's go through it. So in the first block, the data in the block is user 1 sends 1 Bitcoin to user 2. So the hash is 112. This is just an example, but the 1, so user 1 sends 1 Bitcoin is the second one to who they send it to, user 2. So 112. Then we go to the second block. In this block, user 2 has sent 1 Bitcoin to user 3. The previous hash, as you can see, is the hash of block 1, which was 112, to show that user 1 sent 1 Bitcoin to user 2. Now in this block, the hash, so we've used the previous hash. Usually this would be generated using some sort of algorithm, but I've just put it on the front. So the hash for this block 2 is 112, which is the previous block's hash, and then 213. So 2, user 2 sends 1 Bitcoin to user 3. So that gives us our hash. And this, as you can see, is used the hash of the previous block. Hang on, I've got some arrows here. Yeah, you can see this has been taken from over there on the first hash. Then the third block. In this block, the data is user 3 sending 1 Bitcoin to user 1. So the previous hash here, as you can see, has been taken from block 2, is 112213. So this is to show the previous hash, and then the previous. So block 3 is looking at block 2's hash, and block 2 is looking at block 1. So as you can see, that's where the chain effect sort of comes in. They each rely on the next one in the chain. So previous hash 112213, as you can see in the green circle there. So then we take that hash for the generated hash of the third block, so 112213. Then at the end here, the last 3 numbers in the hash of block 3 is 311, to show that user 3 has sent 1 Bitcoin to user 1. Hopefully you can see how this is working. So let's say I am a hacker or a malicious person who's trying to make money off of this blockchain. So I'm going to try and change block 2 and get the funds, change the data in the block and send the data to me. So I've now changed it. User 2, I've now recoded the data inside block 2 to say that user 2 sends 10 Bitcoin to hacker, which is me. Now, as you can see, the hash has actually changed. So before it was 112213, now it's 112210H. So the previous hash is still the same for block 1 is 112. So 112, and then we have 210H. So that shows on the second block the hash that user 2 has sent 10 Bitcoin to the hacker, which is me. Then, but hang on a minute, block number 3, the hash for that is still the same, and this hash has to line up with the previous hash of the block before. So it looks over there, hang on, that's not the same. The block is invalid because the hash does not match. So yeah, entities, so people or companies run nodes which process transactions on the blockchain. So say I wanted to run a node, I could process transactions. And so if this was a node operator and I saw this, that the block was invalid because the hash did not match, because this has been changed, because the hash is based off of the data in the block. So if you change the data, the hash changes. So I would see that if I was a node operator and I would reject that because I'd say, well, that looks dodgy. For their services, the people who run nodes are paid in fees, which is usually the blockchain's native currency. So say I had a Bitcoin node and I was securing transactions, processing transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. If I get paid in Bitcoin for the transactions that I verify or don't verify, if I say they're not valid. So as you can see here, the chain has rejected it. It's not going to work. So the hacker would not be able to do this, and the block would just stay the same. For a hack to be successful, a majority of the blocks must be changed almost simultaneously, so 51% or more. Your network means it's harder to hack. So imagine I go to my friend and he's built a blockchain and he has 5 blocks in his blockchain. If I hack 3 of them and change the hashes, that means the majority of the network has been changed. So the remaining 2 blocks will reset and recalculate their hashes. Because I have changed 3 out of 5, which is 60%, I have taken control of that blockchain. Whereas if I try and take on the Bitcoin blockchain, which has hundreds of thousands of blocks, it's going to be very hard for me to hack half of them and recode all of the data and hashes in time before a node operator rejects one of the transactions, because there is just thousands of blocks. Well, yeah, the bigger the network, harder to hack. So the Bitcoin blockchain, that's why people have tried to hack it and failed, because you need a huge amount of computing power to be able to recalculate that many blocks, and you also need the coding skills to be able to recode the blocks, and you also need to be able to recode that many blocks very quickly. So you'd probably need multiple people and lots of computers. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of a blockchain. If you can understand that, this is mostly decentralized blockchains, but centralized blockchains aren't that different. It's just you don't normally see the ledger. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any videos you want me to make, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.